Nick Sirianni says he's sorry. Okay. We're going to have to talk about it because we got to, but I'm ready to move on from it. And I got his answer to his apology. Also today, while I was planning on talking about Joel Embiid's back-to-back comments, we get dropped at the bombshell of Paul George. Why can't we have nice things in Philadelphia? Train the AM, the number one sports morning show, only daily morning show, live for 4 years running. We're live in 60 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on STT Sports Network. I almost butchered that. Guys, please do me the favor, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that share button on the YouTube page. And if you're watching anywhere but the STT Sports Network YouTube page, please head over onto YouTube and find that. Eventually, that will be the only place you can find the number one morning show on YouTube. Hell, the number one morning show on the airwaves as well. The first daily morning show on YouTube and the longest running daily morning show, almost 4 years running. Yeah, another morning show. People who, yeah, exactly. I had my rant yesterday, Big Al. I'm done with that. I'm done. I'm over. I'm moving forward because I'm moving forward, just like I think Eagles fans need to move forward with Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni yesterday apologized to the fans for his Sunday actions. So we are going to discuss what he said and the easiest way for the fans to move on from the Nick Sirianni thing. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the injury updates and other things that crossed my mind after the overreactions to the Eagles game kind of settled down. We're going to talk about Twitter and how much I hate being a person that has to be on Twitter as massively as possible. And we're going to start a little Sixers conversation as well today, as Joel Embiid yesterday, earlier in the day, a lot of comments started circulating about Joel Embiid not going to play back-to-backs this year or probably ever again. Obviously concerns that he had to have a knee examination or procedure or knee something. We don't really have much but vague information on the knee thing that he had. But while we wanted to talk about Joel Embiid's knee today, then if you were watching last night's Sixers game, unfortunately you saw Paul George's knee bending in a direction that human being knees do not bend. So I asked, why can't we have good things in Philadelphia? I don't know. Now, they're calling it a hyperextension, but hyperextensions of knees can be a lot of things. They can go in a lot of directions. It could be just a 6-7 day rest it and it's fine. Hyperextension sometimes lead to ligament damages. He's going to have to get an MRI. He had a sleeve on it. He was barely limping, but man, we were just starting to get ourselves hyped for this upcoming Sixers season. And then Joel Embiid talks about no more back-to-backs, which is fine, which I'm fine with, and we'll talk about that. And then Paul George either blows out his knee or strains his knee. I mean, we've seen Paul George blow out his leg before. And I just, and my heart, again, it was Overreaction Monday still last night when this news broke on social media. I wasn't watching the preseason game. I was watching I was watching a little bit of that Monday Night Football fiasco last night. I just all the hype, all the hope that I had, the expectations I had for this Sixer season, just like ripped from my stomach in reading one tweet from Sean Bernard. That's it. And I just can't get over the fact that we just can't have nice things here in Philadelphia. And it's so frustrating. It makes me want to just cry, curl up in a ball, turn off the TV, stop watching sports. Yesterday in general, not just that, makes me want to stay off social media. I just can't take it anymore. Yeah, there's going to be some Sixers talk. It's almost the start of the season. When's the season start? The 23rd, I think. I think the 23rd is the Sixers' first game against the Bucks. We're like a week away from the season starting. And this Paul George thing hits. So we got the Sixers on the agenda. We got the Phillies. Again, like I said, I'm Phil Stiefel. You can find me on all social media platforms at Beard and Knowledge. And please hit that like button, that share button, and that subscribe button, and find the STT Sports Network. I'd greatly appreciate it. Up to 176 subscribers at the start of the day. You know, slowly marching to 200. Can't get to 1,000 until you get to 200 first. So please tell one, tell all, tell a friend to find this channel on their YouTube app and hit that subscribe button. So let's talk Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni's press conference and Nick Sirianni's apology to start the show. For the most part, we'll get back to the Sixers as the show goes on. But Nick Sirianni goes out yesterday and apologizes. He always has a day after the game press conference on Monday. Yesterday, he did it. And obviously, we knew the questions were going to get peppered at him and peppered at him hard about his antics on the field and the way he handled answering those questions in the press conference. So we knew that the media was not going to hold back. And they did not hold back. There were a lot of questions thrown his way. There was a lot of push when he tried to not directly answer any of the questions. You play tonight. Mitch Koff in the house. Once a show. You are Mitch Koff. Maybe I'll give you twice the show today. We're at 176. Get me to 200 today, and you can be Mitch Koff forever. But, yes, Mitch Koff pays tonight. He's got one assist on the season, Mitchie Poo. And his Flyers are 1-1. You know, Emerson looked good in his first game. Fedotov did not look so hot in his first game. So we definitely might have to discuss Flyers goaltending issues for the millionth year in a row, but we'll get to that Mitch Koff a little bit later, maybe. Joel Embiid did say, Nick Sirianni did say he was sorry. And he was peppered hard on this conversation. He was pushed hard on this topic. And we're going to discuss what he said. But so two people yesterday I saw on social media, two people, one former EOP person, Rob Lange from Party on Broad, and then obviously Ross Tucker, who has the Ross Tucker podcast, former NFL player. Both said it in different ways, but said it same exact thing, and I'm going to say it too. We have to move on. It's time to move on. Nick Sirianni is not getting fired. Nick Sirianni is not going anywhere. Now, the instant reaction after Sunday's game is, yeah, fire him. He sucks, or his antics are too much. But it's time to move past it. It is time to move on. He apologized. It's best to move on, not just for us as fans, but for the Eagles to move on so that they don't have this distraction constantly looming. They create enough distractions. The Darius Slay back on the Micah Parsons podcast again. They create enough distractions. The Nick Sirianni antics on the sideline, distractions, just best for everybody to move on. But one thing makes it very easy for us to move on. Winning. Winning cures all. We don't care about the antics. We don't care about the optics. We don't care about what is said as long as we're winning. So the easiest way for the Eagles and Nick Sirianni to get past Sunday, not just the lackluster effort or performance, but the antics, is just to go out next weekend against the Giants and just whoop some ass. Do what you're supposed to do. Do what you're capable of doing. And then we won't care about the antics anymore. We'll be done. We'll be moved on. So winning cures all. And it's best for everybody involved If we just move past it, if we just move on, if we just get over it. Now, it's hard to get over it. I know. Look, I am beyond frustrated with social media right now because when I'm pro Nick Sirianni, you're an idiot. He's awful. He's got to be fired. All last year, ugly wins. Last year, ugly wins matter. There's still wins. You're an idiot. You don't know. This week, ugly wins don't matter. And everybody tells me you're an idiot. It was still a win against a great team. First and foremost, every single person that tweeted at me yesterday that the Browns are a great team, you're an idiot. They're not a great team, the Browns. I'm just going to throw that out there. Just going to say that. The Browns stink. And the sooner people realize that, that's fine. But I'm ready to move on. Nick Sirianni's ready to move on. I'm ready to move on. Nick Sirianni said yesterday, he was asked why he had a change in opinion on how he acted, because Sunday after the game he thought he was in the right to do it. And he talked about how he self-reflected, self-scouted, just like he does on every play, every decision in a game. He reflected on his Sunday performance off the field, and he knew he had to apologize for it. I'm going to self-scout and say maybe I was wrong on some things yesterday on social media. But you know what? I kept it all clean and nice. And there's a lot of ass twats out there getting in my shit because I have an opinion. I come on this show every day and say, your opinions actually matter. I guess mine just don't, but we move on. That's what we do. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. You got to promote. Hey, I got this show, and I got to get off this show and literally bolt to the car. Got 54 pizzas to make by 11:30 this morning. Luckily, my wife is fantastic, and we'll start the roll. Start it a little early for me. But self-promotion is the key to everything in business, and I always wear whatever Fox is. I haven't pulled this one out in a little while, but yeah, thank you. But it is time. It's time for us to self-scout. It's time, just like Nick Sirianni did, and find a way in our minds to move on. Because so Rob Lange had some things, winning cures all. He said that's great. But when Ross Tucker said it, it's best even for the Eagles if we all just move on past what Nick Sirianni did on Sunday. Even the fan. Now this is unconfirmed. This is Reddit. I don't go on Reddit. I've been banned for spamming it with links way too many times. So I'll never go on Reddit again. The fan that was involved on the sideline with Nick Sirianni posted saying it wasn't as bad as it came off. It was blown up a little bit on social media. There was a little jawing going back and forth, whatever. So it wasn't supposedly as bad as it seemed, according to this person. Not confirmed, just one person's statement. It's just best for everybody. Distractions are what cause meltdowns on sports teams. And this Eagles team, while it's talented, has issues. And we don't need any more distractions. So not only is it good for us as fans to move on from it, not only is it good for Nick Sirianni to move on from it, not only would winning fix all of this, it's best for the entire team to just move on. I bet you today, Tuesday after a game, it'll be Vic Fangio and it'll be Kellen Moore press conferences. They're going to have to answer to it. Tomorrow, when Jalen Hurts has his first practice press conference of the week, he's going to have to answer to it. So if we don't move past it, if we continue the conversation, then the media will continue the conversation. Or if the media continues the conversation and we keep pushing it, then the questions are going to keep coming. We just move on from it. Get back to the X's and O's. Why the slow starts? Why there's not as many mesh concepts being run? Cooper DeJean's first big start in the NFL. If we focus on the game and move past the antics from Nick Sirianni, then it's best for the entire organization for that to happen. So I really firmly believe, I don't know if I accept Nick Sirianni's apology, but I'm willing to take it and be like, all right, back to business. I don't like it. It's going to sit in the back of my head, and I'm going to be waiting for the next issue, but I'm willing to accept it, and after today, not talk about it anymore, because it is time to move on. Nick Sirianni looks like a serial killer with that dude. Yeah, but Michael Barkan had a great start to a comment. bringing all 3 kids for the press conference. Then he went in on the haircut. People are making a big deal. Look, what's wrong with a nice bald shaved head? I know it's a little long for me right now. Haven't cut it since the first week in September. Nothing wrong with the shaved look, with the scruffy facial hair. My wife loves that look. Maybe his wife loves that look. It does look weird, though. It does look like something you'd see on the side of a milk carton. The rendering of what the kid that was been missing for 27 years might look like. It does look like you might see him on a wanted poster at a post office. I don't know. Are there even post office anymore? Do people go in post office? But the hair thing is way too much is made, mister, of the hair situation. I could care less about what Nick Sirianni's hair looks like or doesn't look like. We can talk about Tyrese Maxey, should he be cornrowed or not, but that's the only hair conversation I want to have. When Joel Embiid lets his hair stay nice and fluffy and adds 2 inches to his height, or when he dreadlocks it and it looks like he's shorter than it. That's the only time that I care about the hair. But it's best for this Eagles team or the fans and the media to move on so that the team can move on. You know, there was a lot of other information to dissect from yesterday's Nick Sirianni day after press conference. The injuries, play calling on defense, the slow starts. I got a whole page plus of notes on the press conference. I do. And some of them have good answers, some of them don't. When there's a good answer, it's great. If there's no good answer, it means he doesn't know. I'd rather continue dissecting that after today than Nick Sirianni chirping at the fans. I'm not over it, but I accept his apology. I think that's an easy way or a sound way to take it. I'm not over it, but I'm accepting it for the betterment of this team because, again, like I said a few minutes ago, Nick Sirianni will not be fired. He's just not getting fired. Unless they go on some 3, 4, 5 game losing streak here over the next month or two, he's not going anywhere. Maybe after the season they have that conversation. But right now, he's here, whether we like it or not. Anthony says he's a man-child. Maybe. But Anthony, do you get what I'm saying? That it's best for the organization if the fans and media move on? Because when you got a team with questionable leadership, questionable performances on the field, questionable everything, with expectations of Super Bowl, with elite superstars all over it, distractions are what bring a team down. So if we accept it and move on from it, at least for now, it's one less distraction. When Jalen Hurts talks on Wednesday after practice, we don't need to hear him say, what did you think of Nick Sirianni's antics on the field? And what did you think of Nick Sirianni's apology? The media peppered him pretty hard yesterday. He answered the first question. There was, I think, the first 3 questions. It was a question about his antics and at least 2 follow-up questions to it. Literally, the first 7 minutes of the press conference was dedicated to just that. That's it. He didn't look good in the press conference. He looked like he was deflated or had been put in timeout. Looked like he'd been yelled at by Jeffrey Lurie for his antics. You know, he had that look on his face that he had just been put in timeout for 5 minutes and he was just coming out of it. But that's it. The story should be over as of yesterday and after this morning on this show. And I know other sports talk channels are talking about it today. And I know my man Scotty put out a tweet. It's time to move on from it. You know, WIP's talking about it. I saw his tweet, and I love Scotty. Scotty's my man. We got to talk about it. But after today, we can move on from it. I think it's best for business if we move on from it. Now, I will follow up what I told Scotty, that he said, you know, we got the Flyers and the Sixers and all this other stuff going on. Look, Eagles sell. Just like they say in like advertisement, sex sells, Eagles sell in the ratings department. So we do stick to Eagles more than anything else, mainly because that's what people want to talk about. There's a much larger, broader audience for Eagles talk than there is Flyers talk. Now, we will sprinkle in Flyers talk. We are going to spend a lot of time on the Sixers. And if Joel Embiid and Paul George conversations are wanted to be had, we will spend time on that today. The Eagles sell. The Eagles drive the ratings, the algorithm. There's even an algorithm online for the radio. So that's what that is. It was, like I said, he self-scouted himself. He loves our fans. All of that. That's it. He's ready to move on. He apologizes. I'm trying to read my notes here. He has to be better at how he directs his energy. He was disappointed on how he directed his energy. He heard the booing. We all heard the booing. Of course, what's his name? Well, I don't understand why they're booing the fans. Well, you're clueless. But he loves our fans. I truly do think Nick Sirianni does love our fan base. He loves the energy they bring. He is an energy guy. He let the energy get the best of him. That's right. The first and only morning show that matters. The only one that's gone 4 years straight. I didn't used to have a morning show, Peanut. I have a morning show and have had it for almost 4 years. I don't know the exact date. I've never been able to figure out what the first trending in the AM was. But it was sometime late in October in 2021. So we're coming up on the 4-year. Yeah, the start of season 4. We're coming up on the start of season 4 of trending in the AM here. And like 8 days off total in 4 years? Yeah, the only one. I didn't have one. I have one and have for a long time. But the only way I have it is by driving the ratings with these Eagles conversations. That's what it is. I mean, I could try to talk Phillies today. I could. Dave Dombrowski is scheduled to meet with the media, and then right after that, Rob Thomson tells me Rob Thomson ain't getting fired if he's got a press conference scheduled today. Just going to throw that out there. I'll watch it today. I'll watch the press conferences later today. I'll have Phillies conversations on the docket tomorrow if anybody wants to. But we're talking Eagles today. We're talking Sixers today. We might touch on Matvei Michkov today. When will Matvei Michkov get his first goal? Will he get it tonight or tomorrow or later this week on the road, or will he wait till he gets back to the Wells Fargo Center to get that first goal? All on the agenda. Paul George's knee. Let me just tell you something. A little part of my heart died last night when I saw his knee hyperextend. Knew it looked bad. Don't know how bad yet. Joel Embiid still isn't playing, still isn't practicing, although he had plenty of energy to play in the Olympics. And every time I say that, someone says, well, it was a good experience for him. My ass. I don't care about Olympic gold medal. I care about NBA championships. So continuing on with the Eagles, though, we talked about Paul George's injury a little bit. Obviously, there were other injuries in the Eagles game. First and foremost, he didn't have much of an update on Darius Slay or Dallas Goedert. He said no info. It's still up in the air. Darius Slay was nauseatingly on the Micah Parsons podcast again yesterday and said he was pretty much good to go. He was day-to-day. He should be fine. Whether that's a good thing or not, I don't know, because Isaiah Rodgers and Keely Ringo did fine filling in for Darius Slay in the second half of that football game. Dallas Goedert hasn't spoken. There's no reports on Dallas Goedert. I tend to believe that it's a hamstring issue, that even if it's minor, he'll probably miss at a minimum of one game. You're not going to rush somebody back from even a minor hamstring issue in 1 week. You don't want to risk that. You don't want to push that. We saw how A.J. Brown missed, 3 or 4 games with his hamstring issue. So we don't want that problem lingering. So Dallas Goedert might miss some time. But the big injury was Jordan Malaita. And Nick Sirianni never gives much information. And maybe this was because he was trying to change the narrative of the press conference. Because up to the Jordan Malaita health question, everything had been about his antics. So maybe he gave a little bit more information to pivot the story a little bit. But it did not sound good. He said there's still MRI, still testing to be done, and it's too early to tell. But it looks like it's going to be at least a few weeks. Now, we'll know more today or tomorrow about it, but it definitely sounds like there's going to be a stretch of time where Jordan Malaita is not going to be playing football for the Philadelphia Eagles at left tackle. Too early to put the timetable on it, but he's definitely going to miss time. When you're willing to go that far, less than 24 hours after the injury happens, That tells me it's bad. So the question is, what do they do with left tackle? And first and foremost, all the people on Twitter that bash me for my opinions on the Eagles, but are the same people that want the Eagles to bring back Jason Peters off of whatever team's practice squad he's sitting on. Do people even think before they tweet? Like, really? So the question is, what do they do at left tackle? Do they go with one of the young guys? Do they move Mekhi Becton to left tackle? Does Fred Johnson play left tackle? I'm a little iffy on Fred Johnson. He's got some success at times, other times not so much. Mekhi Becton was a first-round draft pick as a left tackle only a few years ago, and he's been working well under Jeff Stoutland. Can Jeff Stoutland get him up to par on left tackle? Then you put Steen at right guard. Is that the option that we go with? I'm really curious to see what they will. Dude, I'm on my second cup of coffee already. It is going to be a coffee-laden day today. Just as so happens that the two largest media markets are in the NLCS. I'm sure it's just a mere coincidence. Conspiracy theorist Mista is coming out today. And I bet you in LA, well, no, they're probably not talking about the Rams out there in LA today. They're probably talking Dodgers. That series is 1-1. The Mets, they're probably talking about the Giants in New York today. Or the Jets. They're probably talking the Jets, not the Mets. And the Jets game. For a second, I got to get off on a side tangent about last night's Jets game. I didn't watch a lot of the Jets-Bills game. Bills won. Knew it was going to happen. I haven't done the numbers on my picks this week. I have to see. I know I didn't have a very good week when it comes to picking games this week. Definitely not a good week. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was 7-7 this week on picks. That's not too bad. I got to say something about last night's Jets game. I turned it on somewhere in the second quarter. I watched from whatever point in the second quarter on to halftime. And obviously there was the Hail Mary from Aaron Rodgers that scored a touchdown before halftime. And Joe Buck yourself out there on live TV on ESPN, one of the great announcers of all time with Troy Aikman, literally slobbering all over Aaron Rodgers because he made this amazing play that converted a Hail Mary touchdown. Does Joe Buck not understand that all Hail Mary is, it's probably the lowest, that and the onside kick, or the original onside kick. I don't even know if anybody's tried an onside kick yet this year. The original onside kick and the Hail Mary. The two lowest percentage plays you can have on a football field. You are literally just flinging a football in the air, just flinging it up. 7 guys are going to jump for it, and you're hoping one of the guys has your jersey on, comes down with it. Oh, my God, Aaron Rodgers is so amazing at Hail Marys. It's his 4th one he's completed in his 20-year career, and he just no. Joe Buck, are you stupid? Like, there is no skill required other than to be able to throw a football 40 to 50 yards in the air involved in a Hail Mary. None. If anything, you should be criticizing the Bills players for not knocking it down. Like, why a defender even tries to catch a Hail Mary should be a cuttable offense. Like, I don't get it. Don't get it whatsoever. But anyway, back to the Eagles, because I don't want to get too far off on Joe Buck here. But what do we do with left tackle? Is it Becton? Is it Fred Johnson? Is it one of the other young guys that haven't dressed this year, Kennard, and some of the other ones? To me, I do think that considering this week, Mekhi Becton and sliding him over to left tackle, putting Tyler Steen, who performed pretty solidly at right guard when Becton was injured, might be the best course of action. I didn't write down the Fred Johnson stats, but Fred Johnson's had some solid moments at right tackle, filling in for Lane Johnson when he came in mid-game. But then the game he started, he was not that great. He gave up a few pressures and I think a sack on Sunday filling in at left tackle. No offense, I like Fred Johnson. He's a nice, solid depth piece. But Mekhi Becton has kind of had a career resurgence under Jeff Stoutland. I think giving him a shot at his original position, the position that he was a first-round draft pick, give him a week with Jeff Stoutland, coaching him up at left tackle, with Landon Dickerson opposite of him, right next to him. I think that is the best course of action going forward for the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line. I'm expecting 3 to 4 weeks at a minimum of no Jordan Malaita. It's not going to cost him his job or anything. I think that is the way you go about it. What about Tyler Steen? I don't know if Tyler Steen can play left tackle. We know he can play right guard. He filled in for Becton very solidly when Becton missed, a game and a half a few weeks ago. So we know Steen can do it at right guard. I don't know if Steen can play. I think he was drafted as a right tackle, wasn't he? I don't know if he's ever played left tackle. I remember interviewing former Eagle Jeremy Bridges many moons ago and Trey Thomas many moons ago. And they said moving from the right side to the left side is very difficult. But moving Becton over there, it's not like you're moving him to a fresh position. You're moving him to a position that he was, coming out of college, considered pretty elite at, to be a first-round pick. So I think it just makes more sense to move him. He was left tackle in college. I thought he was right. My bad, K1. So maybe then Steen is the answer. I thought he was on the right side in college. I thought he was drafted to be originally Lane Johnson's replacement. Then they slid him inside. That's just my apologies on that. But I just went instantly to Becton because of his pedigree. Agree with me on the Hail Mary, but it's uncanny how many. He's got 4 Hail Marys completed in his 20-year illustrious career. And Joe Buck just couldn't stop slobbering all over Aaron Rodgers' knob. He just couldn't. Just couldn't. And it drives me nuts. Still drives me nuts. Like, it's this elite skill that he's developed, and he's the best at the best of the best, with honor, sir, at that play. A play that is just plain luck. He gets all the credit for something he did nothing for, and it drives me nuts. That's the only position Steen ever played. Really? Man, I have to re-dive into my mind. I didn't even consider it, K1, and I'm not wrong. I'm not mad at you. I'm not disagreeing with you or anything. Now I have to rethink the whole thing, the whole strategy. So I thought Becton moving him over and slotting Steen in at right guard was the easy answer, because I didn't know Steen had played left tackle before. I always thought it was right tackle and right guard. I don't know. Now I'm thinking maybe you go that way. I haven't seen him play left tackle with the Eagles yet. Still mad at Chauncey Gardner-Johnson for not letting Mitchell get his first career. Mitch Koff, absolutely agree with you. Absolutely agree. I got hate. Dude, let me tell you something, Mitch. You should just see some of my posts. Just pick any random Eagles thread from yesterday on my Twitter page and just go through the comments. And the haters were out in full force yesterday on me. Full force. Because whether I stay positive, I'm told I'm too positive, or yesterday when I say I'm too negative, I criticized Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in multiple tweets yesterday, and everyone told me he played great, he's awesome. Why would you even consider? Like, I looked at his contract to see if there was a way to get out of it early. And there is, actually. You can get all. I think if you cut him after this year, I think it's only like $6 million in dead cap money, which is nothing in the grand scheme of things. And I got criticized. Literally, I could have literally said the sky is blue, and I would have gotten criticized yesterday on Twitter. It was literally the first day I ever said I got to turn Twitter off and just go away. Like, that's how frustrating yesterday was for me on social media. Never had that kind of a day before, but I'm feeling it after yesterday. We were only talking about Steen at guard because Isaac Seumalo, you mean left. Okay, all right. I do remember he was drafted as a tackle. I do remember that, K1. I thought I remembered it being said when he was drafted he was a project to replace Lane Johnson if Lane Johnson retired early. That's my bad. That's totally on me. Totally on me. But Chauncey Gardner-Johnson did not have a good game on Sunday. And it's not the first bad game that he's had, Mitchie. It's not. And there are a lot of people that love him because of his antics, because of his personality. His personality is coming back to bite us multiple times already. I don't know where the numbers are. I'm sure those numbers, the PFF missed tackles numbers, will probably come out today. But going into the game, he was in the top of the league in missed tackles with a bye week mixed in there. But he missed some on Sunday. And there was that big play where he just stood there, froze, and let the guy catch the ball, run up to him, go to the right, and complete a big gain. Everyone told me that's his job, to stand there and drive the player into the inside. He didn't stand there and force it's not like he shifted to the sideline and forced the guy to go inside for the linebacker or safety help. He just stood there. And then when the guy got back behind him, he ran the other direction instead of trying to make a tackle. So all these people trying to defend Chauncey Gardner-Johnson drives me nuts. Drives me nuts. He is allergic to tackling. That's because, all right, so I'm sure you guys know the play I'm talking about, where he just literally stood there, frozen, let the receiver run to him instead of trying to tackle him, let the guy cut inside, and gained like 5 more yards. All right, maybe I don't know X's and O's enough. Maybe his job is to force him away from the sideline back into the middle for the added help. But he still didn't try to tackle the guy. And he didn't try to force him inside. He just stood there, staring at him. You didn't even see him going like this, trying to figure out whether he was going to juke left or right. He is, like, there was other plays where the runner was coming, the ball carrier was coming at him, and he turned his back and leaned away from the ball carrier. I criticized the signing, and I'm still criticizing it. You can say I don't know ball. I don't really care. I don't care if people think I know football or not. I'm a fan, and I use my eyes. And my eyes tell me that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is not a good player, and is a problem. And at this point, I know Reed Blankenship didn't have a very good game on Sunday. But at this point, if today on Tuesday, October 15th, I had to make a decision when Sidney Brown's back, who am I replace? If he earns a starting job, who am I replacing? I'm replacing Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Again, that contract is, go look at the spot track on it. It's get outable after the season. That's who I'm getting out of. If you do not want to tackle, just play the ball so the receiver cannot catch it. Which he does that, but against our defenders. Because his pass breakup on Sunday wasn't a pass breakup against a wide receiver. It was against Quinion Mitchell. Real quick, I don't think we talk negative too much. Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean were targeted 7 times on Sunday by the elite quarterback of Deshaun Watson. 7 targets. They gave up a combined 2 catches, 1 each, for a total of 24 yards. No touchdowns, 56.2 passer rate. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, or Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean are the future, and throw in Jalen Carter there as well, the future of this Eagles defense. The next 5 to 7 years, we're going to be talking about Cooper, Q-Ball, and Carter every single week, and I love it. I love it. I grew up with a kid in my neighborhood named Chauncey. It was me, Chauncey, Raheem Mayek, Mookie Betts, and Omar Johnson. Omar? No, what was Omar's last? I don't even know if we know Omar's last. Omar's a coming. So you grew up with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Raheem Mayek, Mookie Betts, and Omar's a coming. DJ, you lived in some famous circles. Famous circles. I don't want to know what neighborhood you grew up in either. No offense. But we got to really throw some positivity. And you know what? I do love the way, Martin Frank, Delaware News Journal, who's been on the show many times, asked Nick Sirianni yesterday about Cooper DeJean's first start in the NFL. And I said it. He did miss. I said it yesterday. He did miss a few plays. He had a couple plays where he was out of position, took some bad angles at the ball carriers or ball receivers. But for the most part, he played well. And because we're desperate for a good slot corner and how bad Avonte Maddox looked, Cooper DeJean probably looked better than we thought. Or looked better than he actually was. Nick Sirianni said he could be better. He left a few plays out there that he wants to be great and he will work on. But he mentioned 2 things. His youth and energy. Youth and energy. The fight, desire, and want to be great are there with Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell. And it's something, what you saw from Cooper DeJean on Sunday is something as a defense coordinator you could build off of. Because he wants to. He wanted to be out there week 1. I'm not sold on Cooper DeJean, the punt returner. He was okay as a punt returner. Can't wait till Britton Covey comes back for that role. But Cooper DeJean is something you can build upon. Quinion Mitchell, on the other hand, there's nothing to build upon with Quinion Mitchell. Quinion Mitchell is just elite. I said it before the season, And everyone joked that I was going to start another A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith drama. I don't think anybody's saying it now. I said before the season started, Quinion Mitchell might already be the best cornerback on this team. Not cornerback one, because Darius Slay, the captain, had to have that. I'd be ripping that C off his shirt if it was me. But Quinion Mitchell is, not maybe, is the best cornerback on the Philadelphia Eagles. He absolutely is. I don't even think it's up for an argument at this point. Quinion Mitchell loves some Cooper DeJean. Yeah, look, you know what's great? You want the young guys, the young stars, to also, I don't want to say be friends, but be close. Because when they're close like that, it's also something to build upon. It really is. You could build upon their relationship. It's something that could build a locker room. Them two firing up the defense together. They're basically they're both rookies. I don't know if they're the same age, but they're probably close. They're both going to be here for the next 5 years at a minimum. I'm sorry. I thought you were just misspelling it. You're talking about, I gotcha. I'm sorry. No, I just thought you misspelled it. I misspell things in chats all the time. Don't need my glasses. I'm sorry. All right. I've had enough time of getting battered on Twitter in the last 24 hours. I don't need it from you in the chat, too. Know your place, K1. I love you, though. I love the Eagles, but can we get a sexy win? You know, so, and Anthony, this is what I said at the beginning in my opening monologue of the show, over 40 minutes ago now, that Nick Sirianni apologized. And we need to move past it. The media needs to move past it. But winning cures all. Going out next week against the Giants and winning 20-17, that's just going to create more questions. That's all. But if you go out there Sunday against the Giants and win 37-10, everything will be rosy for a week. We could be nothing but positive for a week. I mean, I'm sure I'll find a way to be negative, but, you know, people say I'm getting too negative now. Now that I'm on my own, the real feel, the final boss, the heel character can come out 100%. I've said Mitchkoff like 3 times. I said it was only going to be once a show when we got to 169. I've now said it 4 times, so you're back to Mitchy Poo for the rest of the show. The rest of the show. But a sexy win, a big win, a comfortable win cures everything. Cures it all. Anthony, it's very important that we do that. Makes it all better. Makes the doubt of Nick Sirianni go away. Makes the job security questions go away. We got the clean game from Jalen Hurts. Now can we get a clean game where they put up 30 points or more? We've only scored over 30 points once this year against the Packers week 1. Outside of that, it's been nothing but dreadful offensive performances. Some because of turnovers, some because of play design, and this week because of that elite Browns defense shutting us down. Let's address the elephant in the room with Mitch, Cooper DeJean, and the rest of our young cornerbacks. Do we need Darius Slay anymore? We do not. But I don't quote me on this, mister, but you can't trade him because of the dead cap if you trade him. I think a post-June 1st after the season cut lessens the blow, but I'm not positive on that. There's no room to trade him or cut him because of the contract. That's it. So, do we need him anymore? No. And let me tell you something. I got criticized again, even though I phrased it differently. This time on Twitter, instead of saying, I hate Darius Slay on the Micah Parsons podcast, I see the Giants fan comment. I'll get to you in a second, my man, because I have a comment for you. You know, Darius Slay going on Micah Parsons podcast again. It doesn't sit right with me, but I made sure to put it out there into the Twitterverse. I get that the times are different, and the players of today are not like the players of my day growing up. But it still frustrates me the hell out of me that 2 of the last 3 weeks, you got a Philadelphia Eagles captain on a Dallas Cowboys podcast. It don't sit right. It's awful. It's stupid. It's not Philadelphian. Philadelphia Eagles and Dallas Goedert, I know they don't hate each other in real life, but for the fans' sake, you got to leave that perspective out there. It's like, we know wrestling's fake. We know that, let's see, who's fighting in wrestling right now? Liv Morgan might not hate Rhea Ripley in real life, but on TV, they want to kill each other. Keep K-Fab Bay, or however you say that, keep it alive. Like, I hate it. Do it in the off season. Right now, it sucks. And I'm frustrated and I'm pissed off. And I'm pissed off that nobody else is pissed off because it's just the day and age of what it is. I don't care if Darius Slay is working on his post-playing career, jobs with podcasting. Don't care. Don't go on a Cowboys podcast. Dawkins would have never. Reggie would have never. Seth Joyner would have never. Randall Cunningham would have never. Fred Barnett would have never. Jeff Fiegels would have never. Roger Rusek would have never. You like some of those name pulls I just threw out there, guys? You got to be old to know some of those names. I still don't trust Ringo until I see him play a clean game. Yeah, I tend to trust Rodgers after Sunday a little bit more than Ringo, but Ringo had the big boom hit, so we all hyped about him. We have the talent to blow past a lot of teams. We just don't have it all put together. That's why we got to move on from the antics and focus on the games. Buddy, go ahead and trade Saquon back to the Giants. Y'all wasting him. I mean, I think he's in like the top 3 or 4 in the NFL in rushing yards. He was going into the game. I know we got shut down this week. I don't know if we're wasting him. We're preserving him for the Super Bowl run, something the Giants aren't going to go on to, just so you know. Also, 2 back-to-back injuries my Knicks will own y'all this year. Well, I think the Knicks got worse by trading for Karl-Anthony Towns. Said that blatantly on this show. Karl-Anthony Towns is a bum, and he's going to – I actually would have put the Knicks as number 2 in the Eastern Conference before the Karl-Anthony Towns trade. Definitely would have. Not saying because I like Julius Randle. Julius Randle's overrated in my book. But Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson will not mesh well together. Now, we are going to talk a little Paul Pierce injury here going forward in a few minutes, and I can't wait to hear the news on it. Joel Embiid doesn't have an injury. Joel Embiid's just being preserved and conservative with him because of the big picture. But Paul George's knee, that hyperextension could be just something that you're back in 6 days from, or it could be a torn ACL. We don't know. So I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for that MRI that's going to happen today on Paul George's knee. Without a doubt. Yeah, Saquon's 4th now in rushing. He was 3rd going into the game. They shut him down, the Browns. So, yeah, we're not wasting him. Welcome back to competition, Knicks fans. How's the last century? Yeah. Look, I love it. I love when other teams, the competitors, come into the show. I love it. We love to keep it good. We love to keep it, fun on this show. What's your name? Jay Trinidad. We have Cowboys fans that are commenting all the time. Knicks fans, Mets fans. We got it all on this show. Everybody is welcome. It's all in good fun and good banter. Just so you know. I believe in Joe Hendry. I'm over that. Yeah, do you remember Roger Rusek? He was a kicker in the late 80s for the Eagles. Google it. Google me. You forgot. I could have brought out a lot more names, Nooms. Heath Sherman was a name I thought about adding to it. But I like to save Heath Sherman for running back talk. You can think that we just beat his old team. Preseason games don't matter. Come on. You're entitled to your opinion. Like, I just don't like Karl-Anthony Towns. I think he's soft as Sherman. Karl-Anthony Towns versus a healthy Joel Embiid, there's no competition. Like, I really think you guys could have pushed the Celtics for the Eastern Conference before the trade. Now with the trade, I think the Timberwolves got better. Big picture. And I think the Knicks got worse. Karl-Anthony Towns and Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson, 2 both ball dominant guys that want the ball in their hands. They want to dribble, and take one-on-one shots, ISO shots, or drive the rim. That's it. They're not going to work together as a team. You killed the vibe of the Knicks team with it, and I'm glad. I'm glad you killed the vibe of it. Already said he's not playing back-to-back games, probably for the rest of his career. And it is something that we do have to address today. And I think it's the right decision if the number one goal, he said also in that interview and that conversation that he sat down with Daryl Morey in the offseason to put together a plan to make sure he's 100% for the playoffs. So we might only get 50 games of Joel Embiid this year because all he cares about is being healthy come playoff time. Now, none of it matters if Paul George's knee is effed up after last night. That's all. Now, if Paul George is fine, if it's just a basic hyperextension, he's good to go in 6 or 7 days, great. Game 1 is in 8 days. I believe 8 days. Next Wednesday. So, yeah. Imagine going to another team's chat. I do it sometimes. Come on. I said, I'll troll other teams, but I do it in a fun way. I love somebody like Trinidad. I wish Trinidad would bring some real conversation, not just troll comments, but, it's all fun. I'm a Yankees fan. You got beat by our little brother. We smoked you all in 2009. It's not bringing anything productive to the conversation. It's just not productive at all. Nick Sirianni is the problem. He is. But, Drew, he's not going anywhere. So the only way we can get this team moving forward is if we move past it right now. If we move past it, the media moves past it, and then the less distraction. Plain and simple. That's what it is. Now, will Nick be here next year? We can have that conversation in the offseason. But unless we go out there and lose to the Mets, Bengals, and Jags in the next 3 weeks, all in a row, Nick Sirianni's not getting fired. So it's not productive to do it. What's productive is to accept his apology for now and move past it. Then we can move on. I think he's soft as baby food. Say, okay, so you agree with that. Like, first and foremost, a trade of somebody of his caliber and paycheck, you never see it that late in the offseason. That was shocking. Then you throw on top of it that he does not seem to fit the rest of the team there. You got Jalen Brunson, you got Bridges, you got OG, I'm missing somebody else there. It just doesn't seem to fit what they want to do. And I thought him and Tibbs didn't get along in the past. I think the Knicks made a big mistake, and I think they're going to regret. They might regret the OG contract or the Bridges trade. They might not. They were swing for the fences, home run moves. You go for it, and then you deal with the consequences later. Because I don't just talk Philly sports. I talk national sports, too, on this show. I said, you swing for the fences, go for it. Just like I think of Paul George. It might be a bad contract, but you swing for the fences. And you hope it works out. You deal with the consequences later. Karl-Anthony Towns thing was just stupid, in my opinion. Should be number 1 or 2 in the East. Celtics are still number 1, Drew, in my opinion, until they're not. Number 2, depends on if Paul George's knee is okay after after last night. Cat is a labeled loser. He is. And when you get choked, Karl-Anthony Towns was tapped out by Ben Simmons, the softest player in the NBA. So what does that? Karl-Anthony Towns was tapping out, like looking for the referee to call the bell when Ben Simmons had him in a chokehold. That tells you all you need to know about Karl-Anthony Towns. If you don't remember that, you got to Google it. Why did Sixers think Embiid playing in the Olympics was a good idea? Barbara, I said it then. I accepted it to move on from the conversation. Didn't like it, but I accepted it. Now here we are, and he's not going to play in the preseason at all. He's not scrimmaging in practice. His knee is not 100%. It sucks. Yeah, I don't ever say anything that gets me banned. I don't like getting banned. I'll bring something productive. If you find a nice backup center, you really don't. Well, we're hoping we do in Andre Drummond. I still think if we would have traded for him at the deadline like we tried to and the Bulls pulled out of the trade, we might have won a few more games down the stretch and had a better position entering the playoffs. We wouldn't have faced the Knicks in the first round. And I think Andre Drummond as a backup center is perfect. He can start and fill in defensively and rebounding-wise for Embiid when Embiid sits, and he could be a good number 2 when Embiid plays. Paul George needs to be watched like they watch Aaron Rodgers because he's liable to get injured. Yeah, he's liable to get injured. He did play like 72 or 73 games last year, so he had a mostly healthy season last year. So I'm hoping that can be built upon. If Paul George can remain healthy, he can replace Embiid when it comes to scoring. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. See, look at that. Steven Trinidad can bring some positivity to the conversation. Didn't the Knicks wind up in urgent care last playoffs? Maybe. I don't know. The Knicks had to make the trade because Mitchell Robinson is out for the rest of the calendar year. Yeah, I don't think that. I think you could have still gotten by without it. It was still a dumb trade. After eliminating the Sixers while injured, after Embiid tried to stomp out Josh Harris. Oh, my God. I'll say this, Trinidad. I'm a huge Josh Harris fan. That was the other name I was thinking of. I love Josh Harris. Or Josh Hart. Love him. Knicks traded their 6-man bench. Not going to be productive. Yeah. Dante DiVincenzo seems to be happy now. See, I want to be nice, but y'all talk. They talk trash. It's called the Core 12, Trinidad. It's the core guys that are here every single day, and girls, because Barbara's here too today. Hit subscribe. We do this every day, 5 days a week, 90 minutes a day. And it's the title fits the thing. Trending in the AM. I didn't plan on talking Paul George today, but that's what's trending this morning. You brought up the Knicks. We're talking the Knicks. We'll talk it all. Literally everything on this show. Sometimes we have some great movie conversations. All right, everybody. Let's indoctrinate Trinidad into the Core 12. We asked Trinidad the core question. Is it Goodfellas or Godfather? Everybody has to answer that correctly to be a part of the Core 12. Weak glass house. Yeah, absolutely. Sixers are soft, cold bummed being carried by Maxey. Well, Tyrese Maxey is going to be another step forward this year into superstardom. The league, I can't wait for another 3 to 4 years of Maxey versus Jalen Brunson every single year. Embiid's foot is crippled. Y'all got a broken Paul George. See now, you turned the corner and then you veered off the side a little bit. What is up, Eric? Good morning to you. Hope you are well today. Bucks sold that killed us last year. What? Sorry. Our Core 12 master is in the house. The gatekeeper, as he liked to call himself back in the day. NBA giving out fines for arresting healthy star players. First violation. That is exactly, Mr. why the Sixers are talking about not playing Joel Embiid in back-to-backs. This right here, Mr. I meant to say this earlier. This is the perfect comment right here, Mr. This is exactly why the Joel Embiid back-to-backs and rest and knee issues is being laid out now. So they don't get fined for sitting him in back-to-back games. It's next level. It's playing chess instead of checkers. All right? They know the fines are coming. K1 is the Jacob Fatu of the dude. That man is so good at being a scary mother. Goodfellas, always, Drew. Well, Goodfellas is more watchable. Godfather is better. That's the way I always say it. That's right. That's why it was a disgrace losing to a mash unit Knicks team in the playoffs. Totally unacceptable. But again, Joel Embiid wasn't healthy either. And Tobias Harris was here, not Paul George. So the point is, we're gonna see this Sixers team is not going to be a 1, 2, or 3 seat this year. They're going to play so conservative throughout the year to get us to the playoffs. They're the 4 or 5 seat, fine. And then if we're healthy, then no one will stop us. Bring it on, y'all, like a little mini Boston City. I don't mind. We can go back and forth forever with Philly. Remember, dude, I love it, man. I love it. I don't love it when you guys fill our arena, but I love it. I love going back and forth. I would say, I know everyone thinks the Celtics, to me, growing up as a kid in the 80s and 90s, I looked at the Knicks as my number one rival as a Sixers fan. I love to have the conversation. And pissed off Embiid is a good thing, honestly. Philly population is 6-time Boston. Is that accurate? I'm not sure. Sixers are about to pay $2 million in fines with Embiid and Paul George. Now, I think they're laying the groundwork with their comments so that they don't have to. They don't have to. In terms of New York City rivals, you are not top 3. Well, that's fine. That's fine. Y'all, a stubborn little brother. I love it. Thank you for bringing some fun to the conversation. I was in your arena that game, by the way. Good for you. Glad you got a couple $100 to drop on that, man. Good. Y'all, remember, yeah. I'm glad you helped with it. You motivated them to be even better this year. It's embarrassing, honestly, but it is what it is. It is. Guys, you're watching Trending in the AM right here on the all-new STT Sports Network, setting the trends for what sports talk should be, please. Anybody watching that's new, Jay Trinidad, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and please hit the share button. We do this Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. every single day, talking all things trending in Philly sports and abroad, nationally in sports. You know, whatever's hot topics, we talk about it. So, guys, I greatly appreciate it. We hit 176 subscribers last night in less than 2 weeks. Goal is 200, and once I hit 200, I can get it to the 300. Then I can get to 1,000. The goal is 1,000, but I can't get to 1,000 until I get to 200 subscribers, guys. I greatly appreciate it. There's also football talk on this show, Trinidad, golf talk, gambling talk on this channel. Maybe some new shows come to this channel very, very soon. Got a little phone call to make as soon as this show is over. I was kind enough to censor myself. Hey, it's all good, man. We this show is all about fun. The titles, the network, set the trends. And that's what we do. We just have fun here, man. There's too much serious sports talk out there. There's too much negative sports talk out there. It's all about having fun. This don't pay the bills anymore. After going through this failed Philly season on top of the Eagles collapse, it's hard to take maybe the 76ers can. Yeah, it's hard to take the losing. It is, Barbara. Maybe the Flyers. Flyers are 1-1. They play again tonight. Will Mitchkov get his first career goal? He's got his first assist in the last game in the loss. It's good to see some energy back around the Flyers. Still questioning the goalie situation. I don't know if the goalie situation is set for the long haul. It's probably set for at least the next couple of months, but I'm not sure if it's set for the long haul yet. I know Kozlov is in the minors now. Maybe he's the answer. I don't know. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Everyone's welcome in the chat here. Go tell all your Knicks fans. And the next time there's a Knicks-Sixers game, tell all your Knicks friends to come in the chat. Knicks have been so irrelevant for so long that their fans are still choking on that touch. Knicks fans are like Dallas Cowboys fans, 50 years ago. But look, I'll be honest, Nooms, the Knicks are a good team. I liked them better before the Cat trade, but I think that trio of Brunson, OG, and Bridges is going to be really solid. It's going to be a really good team this year. Now, I think Cat brought them down a little bit, but it is what it is. Thank you. That like button and that subscribe button helps that algorithm. Too bad Trinidad wasn't around for the cherry bomb. Yeah, he would have loved the cherry bomb era. He would have. The Sixers depth, if I get this channel to a certain point, maybe a cherry bomb can return someday. The Sixers depth will be 3 or 4 seed, a healthy Embiid and Paul George late season with Maxey equals really scary. So I want to ask you guys something. I don't know if you watched the Sixers preseason game. So far, the conversation has always been the starting five is Embiid when healthy, and all 5 stars: Embiid, George, Maxey, Martin, and Oubre as your starting 5. Last night, Martin went to the bench and came off the bench and played 20 minutes, and he started Eric Gordon. Now, I thought Eric Gordon should be starting instead of Oubre. They started Oubre and Martin. I don't know if that's a good enough starting 5. I don't know if I like that starting 5. A little too small for my liking. But who should be starting for the Sixers when all is healthy, when playoff game 1 comes around? Is it Oubre? Is it Martin? Is it Gordon? Who should be starting? I was really surprised about the choice in the starting line. It's preseason. You could try different combinations out. I get that. It's an inside joke. It's an inside joke. Do you think it has nothing to do with sports, by the way? Do you think this is the type of defense Vic going to call the rest of the season? Maybe. He was a little bit more. I don't think we really blitzed as much, Drew, as Eagles fans say. I know we got 5 sacks, and he was asked Nick Sirianni about the 5 sacks on Sunday when you had 6 sacks in the first 4 games combined. He said it's just the way the game played out. I don't think they blitzed that much. I mean, Cooper DeJean was brought in on a corner blitz 3 times, and he got 2 pressures. Excellent, Drew. Vic Fangio is a conservative defensive coordinator. That's just what he is. He does not blitz heavy. I just think the team needs to get confidence. I think the corner blitz occasionally we'll see more and more. I think the Bryce Huff in the 4-point stance, which he had his best game as an Eagle in that 4-point stance. So those adjustments I think we'll continue to see, but don't expect a team with 50% blitzes or something like that. Don't all of a sudden expect Spagnuolo-style defense. I could be a little nicer since y'all ain't the playoffs anymore. Have y'all considered trading Bowman Nick? We might have some Phillies conversation tomorrow. Dave Dombrowski, our president, general manager, and our coach are going to be talking today to the media, their end of season press conferences. So there will be a little bit of Phillies mixed in maybe tomorrow. And if not, then I might do a separate show if we don't cover Phillies tomorrow, just on their press conferences tomorrow. So there's some Phillies talk on this channel coming tomorrow. Don't you worry. But there might be some tough trades or decisions on our players to adjust them. Get rid of the best friends circle. I know Bryce is close to them. Dude, do you listen to the show all the time? Because I've said it before that the daycare and the best friends, it's time to break that up a little bit. You're not going to find many Phillies fans that disagree with that comment there, Trinidad. Smash the like button, share and subscribe. We can get this to 200K. God damn. I'm looking for 1,000 or 200 this week and 1,000 big picture. You want me to get to 200,000 subs? Dude, I'm all for it. I could quit my job and do this full time. We get 5 hours of me on the air every day if we get to 200,000 subs. God damn, could you imagine 200,000 subs? Everyone's welcome. Put a Yankee hat on, bro, and watch. Yeah, no. I didn't watch any last night. I was watching the Monday Night Football game last night and a little bit of Monday Night Raw. I was really tired last night, but I have watched some playoff baseball since the Phillies have lost. My team, I tried to root for the Tigers, but then as soon as I said that, they lost. Maxie signed a sneaker deal with New Balance. Dude, I would love. I'm a huge New Balance guy. I'm an old man that's on my feet all the time. I'm a huge New Balance are the best sneakers for somebody like me in the restaurant business, on my feet all the time, with a bad knee, with a bad leg, and with a bad back. So Maxie's got a New Balance deal. I'll take a look at them. I'm not really a basketball sneaker fan. I'm not a sneakerhead or anything like that. Yeah, please. Nooms doesn't realize the Knicks have been on par with the Sixers for a few years, and last year they eliminate them. Let's try to. Yeah, we're being honest. Sandman, you have a big foot. Oh, Bigfoot, what did he say here? Size. Oh, so I didn't even see the size at the end. I'm a size 12, so not quite as big, but Mr. Me, obviously. I didn't, there's a dirty joke mixed in there somewhere. Also, I wouldn't mind seeing Bryce Harper in pinstripes. We're not getting Bryce Harper ever. He's got a full no trade clause and he loves the city, just so you know. If we can get ourselves up for a future tight end, freaking Tyler Warren. Dude, I don't watch college football, Jose, but man, all the hype I saw on Twitter made me go search out highlights of the game. The dude have like 200 yards receiving or something like that on Saturday for Penn State. Man, Nick is responsible for 2 of those sacks in the one play he called on defense. Yeah, Nick Sirianni calling defensive plays. My God. Good morning, Doc. How you doing this morning? We got a New York fan in the chat today, so we're having a little fun today. It's all good. Better late than never, right? Keep those buttons being clicked. We love you though. This is the year they wanted Cooper, but I think when Brown comes back, they play more 3 safety. Yeah, they'll play maybe a little. They'll probably play something with the 3 safeties and 3 cornerbacks on the field, and they'll play their 4 down linemen and 1 linebacker or 5 down linemen, something like that. Because Sidney Brown and Cooper DeJean can play in and around the line of scrimmage because they're aggressive enough tacklers. They're not scared to tackle like some others. I did ask a question on Twitter yesterday. I didn't get a lot of responses for it. Did Nakobe Dean have a bad game on Sunday? I think he did. And I think Nakobe Dean, he started out hot, but he hasn't continued to improve like others each week. Sirianni is the most responsible head coach I've ever witnessed. So the conversation today was on the coaching, Duck. Is that he said he's sorry. Do we accept it or not? I don't know. But it's best for the team moving forward if we get over it, if we move past it. Because if we move past it, then the media will move past it. And if the media moves past it, the distraction stops. And they can hopefully focus on getting better as a team. But in the end, winning cures all. And I think it was Mista said, or somebody said earlier in the chat, just give me a blowout, dominating win. And it cures all. Don't go out there on Sunday and beat the Giants 20-17. Go out there and beat them 37-10. But if we move past it, the media moves past it, then the players don't have to have the distraction. Go to an Eagles game, Phil. 70,000 people. Even a free ticket, it'll cost me $200. I'd rather sit on my couch with my 60-inch TV. Got my little 8-year-old nephew. He called me. He's like, I really want to come over to your house and watch an Eagles game with you this week, Uncle Phil, or Uncle P as he calls me. So Connor's coming over on Sunday. It's gonna be so much more fun than going to a stadium. I can't wait for Sunday. I have not looked forward to an Eagles game as much as I'm looking forward to next week because my little nephew's coming over because he wants to come over to watch football with me. We might even do a little short post-game show. I don't do post-game shows for the Eagles because then I do Mondays trending in the AM. But with Connor coming over because he wants to hang out with Uncle P, we might set it up with two microphones down here. I got a second plug here, and we'll do a post-game show live. Me and Connor talking about the Eagles game. Maybe. We'll see. That Yankee series totally unwatchable and uncompetitive. Yeah, the Mets-Dodgers series is going to be way more competitive. I'm a New Balance guy. The only brand that specializes in wider sneakers. I don't need wide sneakers, but man, New Balance are. I have to get a new pair of New Balances every 6 months at least. I'm literally on my feet 12 to 15 hours a day at the pizza shop, K1. I have to. And the New Balance are the only ones I can survive with. They always say they won't ever trade them, but I bet if we offered you Soto or Judge, well, yeah. I mean, I've said that plenty of times. There's no such thing as untouchable trades. He apologized more than an evangelical mega church pastor. Some tears without any real shame. He looked like he was a missing child on a milk carton yesterday in that presser. That mindset needs to go. Yankees have gotten rid of plenty of players. Yeah. But when you have a no trade clause in your contract, 100% no trade clause, you have to approve it. And he loves this city. So just saying. That's why we're happy with Soto and Judge. I figured, what's the problem with the new wrestlers? The old school guys talk to the fans. Watching at home, when they cut their promos, these guys talk to the fans in attendance. That's why it's flat. Because today, just like Slay is on podcast with Micah Parsons, now after shows you see the wrestlers hanging out. The Wyatt Six lost all vibes when they were seen at an ice cream parlor out of costume, chilling, taking pictures, and smiling. That's what it is. Nakobe misses too many tackles, man. Yeah, like I was hyped for Nakobe. I thought he performed well in weeks 1 and 2, but then he didn't build upon it. That's what we need from Cooper Jean. He had a great game 1 starting. He needs to build upon it. Nakobe Dean stayed the same and has had a few downward ticks this year. Dean had an average game, he missed 2 bad tackles. I think he counting like total tackles, I think it was like 14 or 15. But 10 solo tackles, I think it was. I'm pretty close to being out on Nakobe. Yeah, we got to hope Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I think Jeremiah Trotter Jr. even got in 1 or 2 times. Your coach on the Eagles is not the problem. From the outside looking in, your quarterback is the problem. That's a very debatable topic that we've only got 20 minutes left of the show today. Not even 20 minutes. That's a conversation we've had many a times on this show. Many a times. And I'm a Jalen Hurts guy, not a Nick Sirianni guy. But there's a lot of guys that are hurt or the opposite. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of love from Marshawn Trinidad on that comment. Never knew Sidney Brown had a brother running back on the Bengals. Did he? Is Chase Brown his brother? Did not know that. I know that sounds insane. There's a lot of people in Philadelphia that feel that way. I don't think Marshawn works. I think Marshawn just sits at his computer screen and talks on people's shows all the time. You're not wrong. Oh, man. You made a lot of friends with that comment. You know what they say about big feet. We have to pay extra for pedicures. Big socks, too, you know. But the team must show us something to get past it. Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Winning cures all. So the team needs to get past it or get us past it by just dominating this week. This is not the same Jalen from 2 years ago. From what I've seen, he looks scared. I don't know if he looks scared. He looks tentative, maybe, unsure of himself. He's lost that first step burst. The injuries, the fact that he's had 9 coordinators in the last 10 years of his life, dating back to high school, probably. There's a lot that goes into it. Trinidad and Marshawn knowing each other from other channels is hilarious. Yes, I am Uncle P. All my nieces and nephews call me Uncle P. Or now, as they're getting older, just P. They say, "Hey, P." And it's just easier when a baby is saying their first words instead of saying Phil. You can get them to say I could be always the first uncle or aunt's name said by just saying P. And they just say something that sounds like P. It's a little next level thinking. Because then I can rub it in all the other uncles and aunts' face. They said my name first. And he doesn't trust his teammates. He definitely doesn't trust people outside of A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Run the ball, RPO, and scheme agent. Well, no more RPOs. No more read options. Run some crossing routes more. How's Carlson doing? Yeah. All right. Me been trying to say it's Jalen, but he outplayed Mahomes. Oh, my God. Let's not devolve this show. There's 15 minutes left. No overtime today on the show. Got to get into work like literally immediately. So let's not devolve this show today. Watching my Yankees win. Good for you. Sandman, they also say something else going on. Big socks. You're taller typically. There's a lot of things they say, Barbara. Paralyzed thing. Yeah. Chris Long called Nick Sirianni private pile. And he went, yeah, I saw that. He did. Once I saw the private pile comment, couldn't really get past it. I thought you're taking today off. No, I never said I was taking today off. What did I say I was taking? I don't take days off. You know, some people, Mr. No Notes, all best in the biz, might say I'm a whatever. but he might be Mr. No Notes, but I'm Mr. No Days Off. All right. You gave him 100% no trade clause. Bryce Harper, yeah, that was part of the deal. You got to understand something. Bryce Harper signed a contract that was under per year annual value, level. His deal is only like 26 or 27. He signed a 13-year, $300 million. That's like 26, 27 million. He could have gotten 30, 35 million a year, but he brought that down because he wanted the full no trade clause, 100% no trade clause. So yeah, Uncle P, who do you have in the Players Championship? Oh, that's a good one. We're getting close. We're getting close to golf time again. Sirianni bringing his children to post-game press conference. I hate it. I don't bring my kids. Well, I don't have kids. I don't bring my dogs to the pizza shop. Hey, is Uncle P shy? Uncle P is very shy, honestly. I come off very outgoing on this show, but I'm a very shy person. I'm a hypocrite. Judge has a no trade. At least you admit it, right? Pfizer P. Oh my God, what the hell is that? Uncle P is Christian Bozunu looking. No, he is not going to win the match. I don't even know if he's in the Masters. Phil, be more clear. What? I am as clear as possible. Junior got a roughing the passer call. Was he the one that got that roughing the passer call? Did not realize that was him. I do remember that though. I thought that was Zach Bond that got the roughing the passer call. Crazy, hilariously accurate. Yeah, absolutely. No. The night show is the Eagles check down from the Eagles Pimple Podcast Network. I just put it on there. You guys keep getting confused by the night show. It's just me putting more content on the channel because I work for Shane Half and Johnny Page over the Pimple Podcast Network. I record an audio short form podcast for them every morning. I do it at night, and I just drop it late at night on my channel just to give you guys more content. Stop. It's his Brown's twin brother. Yeah. I didn't know they were twins either. Let's fire through something. I got a lot of comments to fire through. Bench Jalen and give him. No, not right now. It doesn't take a rocket science to see the quarterback's mobility isn't the same. So stop running the read options. There we times AJ is wide open and nothing though. Yeah, well, there's a lot of deep things in this. In that Browns game, Uncle PP. Yeah, when they're in like the 3 to 4 year old age, they do call me Uncle PP a few times. I feel so dirty when women stare at my feet like it's a. Oh my God, that's funny, Eric. That might be the best comment of the day. You're a Trinidad's a Scotty guy. Well, Trinidad. I was part of the start of. I helped start DSM Media with them. I was like their first. They started out. They brought me the trending in the AM started on DSM Media with Scotty. My first guest appearance ever on a podcast was when he was just solo running Scotty Talks NBA. Scotty and we go back, me and Scotty, just so you know. I love me some Scotty. Scotty on fire. Yeah, that was a really relevant reference I just made there. I should just shut up now. No overtime today. There's literally no time for that today. I should be cutting it short right now. I don't even think a $500 super chat. That doesn't even cover the pizza order I got to make as soon as this show is over. It's literally way more than $500. A $500 super chat and the $69 super chat. Not enough. And you can't get the super chats until you get to 1,000 subscribers, guys. So smash that subscribe button. And I got to ask you, how do I put the polls in the YouTube chat like you have, Mitchie Poo, that says, have you subscribed or have you liked the video? You got to hit me up on how to do that. I don't know how to do that. Golly and Shazam. Yeah. Stop the Hurricanes. Another big one starting to form out there. So Harper signed a Brunson deal. He took a team-friendly deal to make sure he was locked up here long-term. Did your parents what? Oh yeah, probably. I was quoting full. Yeah, no, I got that. Yeah. Were the refs trying to give the Jets a win? They tried. Still didn't work. Coffee kicking in finally. Oh, it's kicking in. Mr. No Days Off, the Beard, VCP, Uncle Phil. Yeah, I got more nicknames than The Rock, man. I pissed Scotty off with the anti-Philly talk. I love it. Scotty's the man. Scotty is a great dude. One of the best in the business. Scotty, look up Scotty, DSM Media. I've had Scotty on this show in the past. Scotty is one of the best. Love him. One of the most genuine guys I've met. I've become pretty good friends with a couple people in this business. He's one of the best right there. One of the few I've actually met in person from this. It's been over a decade and over 4 decades for the Mets. Yeah, absolutely. Guys, we're starting the final 10 here. Did I say what? Did say what? Sorry. Going up here, looking. What did I say? I don't know. I'm lost in the comments. I can't believe we got to 176 comments today. Slow start. Show started off slow with comments today. I was rambling on my own, but you know what? We've had a pretty solid show here. We got the final 10 minutes. What have we talked about? Nick Sirianni moving on so that the Eagles can move on. It's imperative we do that. And I give credit where credit due. Other people don't credit. I got the idea from Rob Lange, Party on Broad, and also Ross Tucker. Move on. Because winning cures all. And the Eagles need us to move on so that the media moves on. That's it. Joel Embiid, never playing back-to-backs probably ever again in his career. That's fine. But, man, my energy, my hands are shaking, not because I've had like 600 cups of coffee today, but because I'm waiting to hear the Paul George news. Was it just a hyperextension, or is it a bigger deal? These are the comments. Get your final thoughts in, and any other jokes about my nicknames here. And he called me delusional. Of course he did, because you are delusional. But it's all in good fun. That's right. Hit that like button, sub, join the core Trinidad has, and I love it. I love it. I expect Trinidad's energy here all the time now in the morning. I'm going to give you another crazy prediction. Oh, my God. I don't even want a page down here. We got it, Trinidad. Damn, fam. Yeah. Did I miss the Skip Bayless hot take? I didn't really give a hot take. I just got really pissy earlier in the show with Twitter that I can't win with Twitter. Last year, I'm all ugly wins are all good and blah, blah, blah. Uber positive. And you're an idiot. You don't know football. Yesterday, I almost deleted Twitter yesterday for like a minute because I'm being negative and voicing my opinion and frustration with the Eagles. And you're an idiot. You don't know. You're too damn negative. I can't win. Yesterday was one of the most frustrating days I've ever had on Twitter. I started taking Twitter seriously about 4 years ago to build a following. It's been slow, but started to really pick up in the last couple of months. Couple of years, but last couple of months have been great. God, people can't win. See the Mets-Dodgers games, win that in 7. I mean, I had it on like my phone, the GameCast. I was kind of tallying along a little bit. It's gonna be a 7-game series. I don't know who's gonna win, but it's gonna be a 7-game series. Yankees winning in 5, maybe. They should win in 5. Will they? I haven't paid close enough attention to know. Not a Philly sports fan. We don't care. Come on here and talk to us, everyone. Dude, this is what we do. This is how you build a community. We welcome all. Whatever happened to the curl route guy, right? We haven't seen the curl route guy yet this year. It's a lot of pressure to put on Trinidad. Yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to put pressure on them. The Dodgers threw their organization's 12th starter yesterday. The Mets are going to win that game. I'm just a spectator now. You're just a spectator. Twitter is all reactionary and has a long memory to boot. Yeah. The crap combo for a life partner. Yeah, man. Look, Twitter is the thing that as a guy trying to build a YouTube page and to build a following, it's so necessary. Shit, I tweet out 60 times in the middle of an Eagles game when I live tweet them. It's such a big part of growing a sports channel. But honestly, it's the worst app in the world. I would love not to have to be on there all the time to build the channel. And now that I'm doing my own thing, I'm trying to push it even harder now and go on there even more. But it's just so nauseating. It really is. It would be my dream. Somebody's predicted to get me to 200,000. If I had 200,000 subscribers, Twitter, delete, gone. Bye. I wouldn't have it anymore. Nah, man, you want to be a big rival like Boston. We kick our rivals down in New York City. Man, I hate New York City. Do you live in New York City, Trinidad? I hate New York City. I hate big cities. The rival clubs stomp. Okay. Chill out. You also, Rick, with all the business program. Well, Curl Rock guy was mostly right. He wasn't wrong, honestly. It's so right. Of course, Paul George is injured. Philly sports has been cursed ever since William Penn wasn't the tallest. That is a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. All right. I help you build your Twitter following. You help me build my YouTube page, Mitchie Poo. We'll work together. Like I said, I need you to help me figure out how to put those polls you put in the chat on YouTube. That's what I need. I don't know how to do that. I'm from Brooklyn. My sister-in-law lives in Brooklyn, like 2 blocks from the Barclays Center. And she's been up there for like 4 or 5 years. And I let my wife go up by herself to visit because I hate the 2 times I've gone up there and visit. I hate it. I hate it. The last time I was up there is when the Sixers played the Nets on Martin Luther King Day. We went up there for the weekend, saw the game, then came home. And I hate it, man. No offense. Brooklyn's great. It's a great city. I just can't do the crowds. I can't do the traffic. I can't do the subways. My OCD, my anxiety just out of control, man. Hate it. I love it. I love the food scene. I love the bar scene. But I hate the amount of people. That's why I don't go to sporting events anymore. In my old age, I don't do it. I would agree, except for the Phillies World Series and Eagles Super Bowl. But yeah, mostly correct. How many followers you have, Michkovsky? He's got, I don't even know how many followers on Twitter, but he's got like 5 YouTube pages, all that are over 1,000. I was born in New York City. Good, man. I'm from the down and dirty New York City, East New York, Brooklyn. I don't know. Sorry. I like visiting New York City, but live there. No way. Yeah, no. My sister-in-law, she loves living in the city. She loves walking the streets. She don't own a car. She just loves it. You know. She also makes buco bucks to be able to live in the high-end trendy section. So never forget Diddy's. Yeah, that's true. Trinidad, boom. Take that on that one there. All right, guys, we got to start the wrap-up process here. I got to make a phone call on the way into work. I got to get to work. I'm closing the notebook for the day. All right, closing the notebook because I'm not Mr. No Notes. I'm Mr. No Days Off. That's what we do here. I used to have to go to New York City every 3 weeks for meetings and hated it. I would have quit the job. Quit the job. Yeah. Time to move on, guys. Got to wrap this shebang up. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be talking more Sixers. Hopefully we know something about Paul George's knee. We'll be talking more Eagles because I'm sure Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore will speak today. We might cover the Rob Thomson and Dave Dombrowski press conference. We'll see what they say. We're going to talk a lot of different things tomorrow. And maybe, trash talk the New York fans with Trinidad tomorrow. No, we're not ending on that. I'll find something else to end on. I don't even want to get into that. I know y'all hate us. Our trash talk is constant annoying. And you hate us because of our trash talking, right? It's all good, man. It's all good in the hood. It's all about fun. I'm trending in the end. We welcome all. So everybody have a great day. And for Trinidad. I don't have an exit video. We're working on an exit video. Me. Oh. Going strong, guys. For 2 weeks now. Live, 8 a.m., 9:30 a.m., plus other stuff. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, the like button. Find me on all social media platforms at Bearded Knowledge. We end every show very simply, Trinidad. Very simply. Go Birds. Bubbles up to you.